PC from Cortina Seats, another episode. We've got the paint boys out this time, let's go! That's it, that's all we needed.
Chris come up with a good idea. What do you reckon, Chris? What's your good idea for Ash? Well, seeing that he's disabled.
To have central locking on the car.
Good idea.
So you're not having to
reach over
to get all the locks. You just unlock that one. Well, the kit we've got has got a remote.
Yeah.
Key.
Nice.
But I think it's got a remote fob, but I think it works off the key as well.
Okay.
But yeah, press it, all 4 doors pop open.
Well, I'll do a handy convenient feature. Just take a bit of pressure off Ash, that's all. Make it life a little bit easier when he's getting in and out. Yeah, good idea. Good call on that. I wouldn't have thought of that. I've got to say, I didn't. I have heard of people fitting central locking before.
But well, we've taken the door cards off for that. There's also the opportunity to
oh yeah, you can straighten them out. Let's have a look at them. They're outside the door cards. What do you think of these? Where are they? Oh, they're there. So, on brambles, I just steamed them and then flattened them. You're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, just same thing. They're not badly warped. Just
want to touch up, don't they?
Yeah, I mean they've been pretty decent condition to be honest.
There's no tears.
Apart from the speakers.
Yeah, there's no tears.
There's no rips in them.
No.
So just like I said, it probably cost the plastic haven't been on the inside of the doors.
Yeah. Well, we could polythene the doors.
Well, yeah, that's what we're going to suggest. Yeah.
May as well polythene the doors while we're at it. We have got a time scale on it, but I'm sure that'll fit into it. Nice one. Let's go and get some food. Day done. Houston, we have a problem. A gaper. A hole. A big hole in the usual place. I mean, to be fair, the car is solid. You're going to expect something. And this is how they begin to rot. This is how it works. If the car carries on like this with damp carpets and continued use, somehow scraping through MOT somehow, and then the rust will just carry on and just spread outwards from this point. That's how you get those big holes appearing. This is pretty early in the stages, so we can catch it with a repair piece. Localised plating on this. We are not going to rip out the entire inner sill. It's not worth it because it's solid further up. So a repair piece is going to be placed into this hole here. We've got no choice. Otherwise, whoever drives this car will be getting wet feet. So Richard's the man again. Pete escapes out of welding. I just got to go and do some little wiring jobs, Rich. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. How's it going down there, boy? Repairs are going nice here. Look at that beautiful job. Oh hell yeah. We managed to find, we had an inner sill in stock. So Richard has shaped a piece for the floor there. I mean, we're on a budget here, so we can't start letting stuff in level. So we're in there with a nice piece, solid, and then a piece of inner sill repair section, nicely shaped. It's following all the curves. And it's going to do what we need to do very nicely, because obviously we can't start dipping the shell, we can't start taking it all to pieces. We've got to work what we've got, clean back as much as we can. A little bit of fumes, but the door is open on the garage. We've got a jacking point to refabricate, and then a little bit of weld to clean up, dress it up, paint it, treat it, put the tar pad back on. I'll get some tar pads tomorrow. And I think a seam seal at the top of the inner sill where it meets the A panel, that's as the factory had them. A little bit of shaping to do, not much, but big credit out to our welder in the house, Mr. Alex Valentini is on the job. Whoa, He just
Richard Valentini is not.
sorry, Richard Valentini. It's the fumes, the fumes, the fumes, the fumes. Drone. How's it going, Rich? Some nice little bits of metal going on. So we're making just refixing the jacking point. Got a new little bit of metal we've made. And then with a little plate there cleaned up and ready. And this will just tidy this area up, offer that up bit. Tidies up that little bit nice. Because we don't want to take the whole panels off and start dipping the shell, of course. We're just trying to get it how we wanted. And that'll go on to that. So it's going to look a little bit more factory finish. So we'll get our spot welded on. We'll try it with a spot weld. It might go on. We'll see. Okay. Richard nearly got electrocuted. Pete goes on about safety. Look what we got, boy. Whoa! He got a little tingle. Right, let's get on to that. Better get on to that. It's my fault. Whoops. There's me going on about health and safety. Well, not health and safety, but just general safety. Health and safety is too far, but see you in a sec. We'll get this welded on now. Floor pan patch repair's gone in. Show you that in a minute when it's all done.
Last screw out.
Alright, hold on, Chris. Yeah, do that. Chris is doing the central locking on the car because I thought that'd be good for Ash. Richard's just done a mastercraft job down here with a jacking point. Look at that. My contribution, I folded the edges on it, that was it. I was technical advisor, Richard. Tech advisor, that's Richard's just doing, I just feel bad I'm not doing much. Guys, can I do something? Please, I like building cortinas. Well, Pete doesn't do anything anymore, he's got everyone doing it for him, he's sold out, I've sold out, so he's sold out. That's, Chris is doing the, he's got, yeah, that's right, that little bugger, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's back seat out for that. Right. We'll probably find all the money on the seat now.
Right, I'll have to get back to
Chris is fitting. How are you getting on with these? Hang on, let's not try and. I'll try at a good angle here. How are you getting on with them, Chris? These are central locking. Solenoid goes in. Yeah, I don't think I'm still switched on, but I'll switch it on for you. We've got quite a crude power pack for Cortina City standards. The standards are dropping. We've got a boost charger as our power pack, but that gives Chris some voltage. And then
hopefully it should.
you're good to go. You were good to go. Hang on a minute. Yeah, it is on, Chris. Have we blown this up? Oh, hang on. Hold on a sec, it's timed out. Hang on. It's on the timer. There you go. Sorry about that. Oh, it was my fault. Yes.
Oh, so that's lock.
Lock. So let's just make sure your hands are in. Yes, they are.
And then
I'll go in on the pin itself.
just lock them over, then it won't lock.
Quite an easy mod. How much? Oh no, we won't mention prices. Quite an easy mod. There we go. Nice. Yeah, can I push it down?
Oh, that's why. Yeah, it should be doing. And then it goes up.
Hold on. Okay, so central locking. Chris's idea. I wouldn't have thought of it. Nice one. Let's keep on moving. We're going good. There's a couple more welds down on that repair there. We just got to get a bit of plastic trim out. We're going to route the cables. Probably harder than actually fitting the solenoids is the cable run.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, reasonable, but it's not too bad. We'll get right on. We'll see you back in a sec. That's a nice little repair, Mr. Richard. Very nice. I think Richard's he's in another world. He's just gone. He's just gone. He's in the zone, what we call the zone. And again, I'm out of a job. But nobody knows that I'm doing stuff when you boys have gone home. Full behind the dash cigarette lighter repair, dash rewiring, centre console repaint, clock rebuild. So we're all on it. I'm just ribbing them. We're all on it. Chris is routing the cables across now. Central locking with backwards with wire wrapped, loom wrapped. I mean, we're loom wrapping, and it didn't have. Curiously, I can't find the factory interior light switch wires for the back doors. Got them for the front doors. It's had an alarm fitted and they've sort of messed up with the cabling a bit, so we're just readjusting that. But things are going quite nice on this Saturday afternoon, folks, for this car SAS. It's car SAS here. There's a souvenir for Ash there. A little bit of rusty metal for you, Ashley.
Jump, boys, jump. Yeah, because I'd learnt the keyboards on this and not used it. I did keyboard tutorial and learnt the secrets. Dead well. I can only do the intro. But sounds like you're going through concrete there, Chris. Watch you don't drill a fuel tank.
On now. Heat soldering them, doing the heat shrink for the doors. And Chris drilling the holes in the back. Chris trying to find the spot welds in the door. Look at concentration there.
Chris, what's going on? That sounds like you're drilling through the pyramid. Lost pyramids of Gaza. No, that's knackered, that drill, but you just fly through there. It's burnt to. That's well gone. It's just.
He's killed the drill.
No, they're all blunt. Where have them jumps come from? They're all blunt, man. You need the ones out of the LD box. They're all blunt. Every one of them is blunt.
What's that one out of the LD box?
Oh, was knackered with him. Shit! The bloated it, we burned it, it's gone. That's fucking that drill.
Oh, this one's working better.
How's Pete getting on there?
Whoa! Whoa!
Got it.
Whoa! That sounds rough in the back there, Chris.
Yeah, it's gone through. You're alright.
Should be a nice smooth operation, that drill. Just through you go. As soon as you start hearing them crunchy noises.
It's because of the angle of the door. I can't put it.
You can't go straight on that.
Exactly straight, but yeah.
You're at an angle.
It's through though. That's fine.
Doorway going in the front door.
This is the the central locking loom and the speaker wire at the same time. Put them both through a piece of heat shrink just to neaten it up so you don't see wires everywhere. But the hole's reasonably restricted, so we've got to poke each wire through at a time until I can get all of them through, which is a little bit tricky. You can't quite get to the back of this hole. These holes are already here for the existing door speaker wires. We're utilising them to do both the central locking cables and the speaker wires at the same time. It is a little bit fiddly bunching it one at a time through. It will go eventually. There's the blue one nearly through, blue one is through. Green will now be easier. WD-40 on, by the way, to help. We use that to help friction reduction. You could use wash-up liquid. WD is always the one. Last one, this will be the hardest because everything's now gone through. Should just do it. Yeah, it's through. So that's that one through. That's the harness for the central locking. It's the master harness. This one, it contains a pair of switch wires as well as the solenoid cables. That's your solenoid. These are your switch cables, so that when only on this door, the driver's door, when you operate it with your key as opposed to the remote,
the solenoid itself has a micro switch in it, and that will then open all the others. So this is the master. You could fit it on the passenger door, but it makes no sense because you're coming in and out of the driver's door. So the driver's door always has the master solenoid on. These kits are good and they're pretty easy to fit. It just consists of an operating rod here. You get a clamp kit with it. The clamp kit straddles the existing locking pin rod with this sort of double adapter, and this rod then just tandems on, and that's it. It's not a solenoid actually, it's a motor and a small gearbox, which gives you more torque. If it was a solenoid, I think that it'd struggle. These are pretty tough to push up and down, so they tend to always have motors in them. I always thought they were solenoids, but I've never actually seen these kits before. Seems good to me. Now we'll see how we get on now. Heat shrink is on and now pulling through. I'm hoping it will go through the heat shrink. Should just about make it through. Yeah, and it does. Heat shrink makes it through. The grommet's going to be a really tight fit on here. I might have to enlarge just this hole because the master loom is thicker than the others we've done. The others have gone through. This looks like I'll not get the grommet on there, to be fair, without enlarging that hole a little bit and using a different style grommet than what was fitted. So I better get on and do that. So wires back through again. That was a waste of time, but at least I can see if I can make the length. The cable is a little bit short. It's only just going to make that. We'll do it. Nothing left to spare. But I'm better off pulling back through, enlarging the hole using a bigger style grommet. It's going to be too tight to get that existing speaker grommet through. Probably was asking probably a bit too much. We'll be right back. We're going to get drilling. A little bit more work going on my own today. Just finished, well, Richard finished doing that jacking point repair. Down we go to see that. Where are we? We can sit there, get the camera on. Where are you? You are there for the repair. So you can see how we made that bracket as close as we could. Curve the edge of the repair piece. That attaches now into the inner sill. Then a wire brushed back just quickly and removed the loose stuff, anything that was flaking off, then re-gravitexed up here. Remember, this is an express GXL makeover and turnaround, so we're not going down to bare metal. We're just taking off the flaky stuff. The advisory to be: keep this car in dry conditions and don't heavy weather this car, just because it hasn't got the level of protection that you would have if you bare metaled and dipped the shell, then started reapplying everything. There's always going to be little bits coming back, especially if it gets put out in the salt and rain conditions. So whilst it is solid and it is injected with Z-Bart, and we'll be reapplying some Dinitrol, seam sealing, Dinitrol, oh, the fumes. It's Dinitrol, the creeping one, the ML spec. That'll go into the rest of the cavities, but the purpose of this exercise was to get this through an MOT, and obviously that would have failed on that jacking point. It now works as a jacking point as well. It is functional, it is strong. You can jack up on there if you want. And as you saw early on in the clips, the front valance was done. Gravitex on the back of that, because that gets a lot of stick from the road wheels. Little bit of seam sealer in where it meets that inner, and then over Gravitex that. Wire brushed back just around that bolt. That's as far as I'm going. I'm not going up here. It is solid. Got a little repair plate went on for the indicator wire coming out. There was a hole there. Richard's rebuilt up the edge of this inner wing as best that we could in the time that we've got. Okay, please kind of make a note of that. This is a different approach. This is just to get someone on the road and get someone happy and using it straight away, rather than taking it off a couple of years and doing a concourse rebuild. This is just get the car back on the road in solid, drivable condition. Okay, to make someone happy. He doesn't know we're doing this. It's to make him happy. The central locking's now done. We thank Chris Bradley for coming up with the idea. Me and Chris fitted this. I've just finished off the rest of it today, so we are now locking and unlocking. In you go. All the wiring harnesses are in and neat as well. Look, you may as well do this. Doesn't take any much more time to make neat loom connections. That also has the speaker wire going through that, so you can see that we unlock. Child locks are on this door, but locked, unlocked, locked, so that's working good. Also, the indicators are wired in with this now. Step back, you do get a flash of the indicators, so that's nice touch. Needed 2 diodes to do that. Only a single 12 volt output from the module. Needed to split to 2 separate 12 volt lines into the indicator, so diodes were used for that effect. You could have used a separate relay as well if you wanted. Curiously, the box that comes with it doesn't have left and right indicator connections, which is stupid in my opinion. It has a single output, which you can then split into a pair of 2 outputs by putting diodes through. Reason for the diodes is that if you don't have them, when you activate your indicators, all 4 would go. The diodes separate the signals out and stop a return feed into the ignition, into the wiring harness of the car. You have to do that. Hey, up match of the day, ice cream van's out. He always comes out when it's freezing cold. The weather is end of May, freezing cold and rain, horrible weather at the moment. What else do we need to do for the MOT? Bleed the brakes through. We checked all the fuel lines. Window washer wipers have had new tubes fitted. I'll check the blades, clean the screen. Of course, it's all covered in leaves. There's a lot of leaves dropping, not dropping, but it's just this tree that I'm under has these catkins. We'll clean that up, don't worry. We'll clean it all up. We have to shuffle the cars around. It has to go outside under the sheet, although it didn't last night, as you can see from those catkins. But I have got a sheet that goes over this grey cover. It does, they can chaff at your paint, but because this isn't painted yet, that doesn't matter. So there we go. We're opening on this door. I don't think the child locks were on. Child locks only apply from the inside. What are you talking about? So there's the door. So they're all locking. I wonder why that didn't unlock before. No, it's working. That's fine. I don't know what I was thinking. Child locks. Child lock. Right. I'm going to put the headlights on. Indicators on this side. I'm going to get the indicators, lights on, all the electrics working, so all electrics for MOT are done. Richard's then going to come and give me a hand with a few things under the engine bay. We're going to go through an MOT checklist. Seatbelt anchorage points, so I think they're good. Seatbelts themselves, all dash bulbs, all indicators, brakes, steering, tyres. The tyres are new, so we're good there, brand new tyres on. I'm trying to think of anything else that it'll need for its MOT. It doesn't need to be painted for the MOT. You can go in as it is, as long as all the things are fixed down and nothing's loose or sharp. We should be able to take this in. New horns fitted. We should be able to get this into the MOT. Reg plates need to be screwed on. Get that in for MOT and then paint it. Reason being, I can drive it to the paint place. Might have to make a few trips there. So the purpose of MOTing it is so that Cortina City can drive the car to save transport, and you'll see why that's important later on as well. So to get through the MOT, we're going to need the lights fitting. They're unscrewed at the moment. There's no reason why they shouldn't work. We'll also need the wing putting back on. It's the reason I've Gravitexed it here. Like I said, there was the wire wheel that went in. Nice one to use for getting off the loose. The loose is on the floor. We've done the best we can. Any loose, rust and crumbling underseal. The rest of the underseal is attached quite well. Indeed, when you do a test patch and remove it, it's bare clean metal underneath. There's no point disturbing that for the budget and rapid turnaround we're doing of this vehicle. The main thing being that what welding we have done is solid and should last a long time, and functional as well with a jacking point, and cosmetically looks good. It's not exactly right, but it's a good image of what should be there. All right. slightly done differently because that's not part of the inner sill. What it is now, because we welded it to it, but the inner sills were copy ones, pattern ones, over sills if you will, over inner sills. So they needed to be slightly modified. I'll show you the inside welding work whilst we're on. Also the dashboard lamps. Okay, so we've got a new tar pads and new felt pads going in. They were cracked. Someone had already been in there. Here's one of the plates then. Just cut in the old metal out, and it goes as far as the footwell there, the common rot spot. That's ready for some paint to go on there. We're going to use some bare metal red oxide primer, then take a cut down that sound mat, apply new sound mat in there because it had all rotted. This has been letting water through for a long time here. All that was rotten, smelt, damp and gungy, so once cutting out, carpet's alright just about. Wiring harness re-wrapped going in just at the side for the central lock-in. LEDs on the instrument fascia. Retro radio in, very nice unit, retro radio. MP3, Bluetooth hands-free. Parrot has Bluetooth car hands-free, connects to the iPhone, FM radio, line in, SD card and USB stick in that all-in-one radio. Wires ready. We're going to get central speakers into the dash to create a surround sound effect. We'll do what we do at City. 2 4-inch will go in there, giving us bounced off sound off the glass. You get a 3D effect. We'll keep the original door speakers as well, simply because the cards are cut for those. The door cards are cut out for them. Other than putting blanking plates on, you may as well just put the speakers back in. That's going to give us quad sound, 4 speaker sound, left and right, front and back, which you'll get should get a nice little ambience here in the car. I would have thought it'd be quite good. Looking forward to hearing how that sounds because I've never used door speakers. Also, this set's a pretty decent output. It's badged up as some crazy wattage, but I'm guessing it's about 20 watts a channel. Looking at the sound of the amplifier, good fit, slot straight into there. Very impressed actually. What, 20 quid with postage, 15 quid? I couldn't even get out of bed for that. Unbelievable. Them little sets, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable price and unbelievable performance. Really good for what you need. Totally recommend those. Have another look, they're on eBay. It's a little retro sound radio. Fantastic for what it is. Really is good. Fix the interior light, a later one on. Nice condition one there. I think that's a Fiesta one. A lot better. The tarnished and dulled down interior light that was all rusted and cracked that was in here. Fixed all the light switches so that they're all connected. All 4 doors activate the light switches. Light interior light now, that wasn't working. Mirror needs a little bit of a freshen up. A new mirror can go on. That's all corroded around the edge of the mirror glass. Interior wise we're good, other than a rip to the bolster of the seat. Not a lot I can do, I'm afraid. Reupholstery is not within this budget. We'd like to, we really would. We're already going to do quite a lot to this car. If anyone can jump the queue and sew this in, then we'll take them up on the offer, but I doubt it. I've asked around, everyone's on a 3-month waiting order and they wanted 500 quid to fix that, so no, that's not happening. I say 500, that was for the complete cover, bottom and top with the fitting. They wouldn't do just the top, I don't know why. They wanted to just price for the whole seat. Stupid if you ask me. I might carry on ringing around, see if anyone else I can get. My trimmer's got 3 months waiting list, can't do that. We're trying to make an impression and surprise the owner of this car. He doesn't know what we're doing, he doesn't know we're fixing this up. If you've been following the videos, you'll see why and the story behind it. It's a bit of a rescue mission, what you would call a car rescue, return to owner. You could have a sort of play with words there if you want. Sort of car rescue, car sort of special forces, SAS perhaps, stuff like that. This is what it's going to be. We are doing all right at the moment. That Gravitec's now ready. I'm going to put the wing back on, get the indicators and headlights on this car. I want to get this MOT'd, or at least I want to find out if there's anything else it needs, and the MOT will be a good way of flushing out anything else, although I've got a strong feeling it's going to fly through. A little bit more now, do those lights at the front. PC work on his own today. It's the way it goes. We've got to get this car back and in use. See you in a sec. PC back here. It was only seconds for you. I'm wire wheeling down the slam panel, may as well. Got some spare time. So I just used the twisted knots on that angle grinder there, that Makita. Dust mask on, of course, chucks up a lot of old paint, you don't know what's in that paint, so just used a little, what they call fast mover dust mask. Got to wear it. Didn't have gloves on using the twisted wheel. Do you want to see why they're dangerous and why you need eye covering? Check out this impact here. Let's get a focus on first. Could be a focus. Where's the focus? Oh, there could be the focus. You see a bit of wire sticking out my hand? Give me a bit of focus. Give me a bit of focus. Somewhere. There. Ow. That's not good. That hurts. Now that could be your eyeball. That really could. That piece of metal there. See that? You like that? You like what we've done with the place? Whoa! Hey! No, 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 no! Not needed just yet. Will be in a sec. But yeah, piece of metal from the twisted knot wire brush wheel straight into Pete's hand. Okay. This will get a little bit of treatment on it, then the etch prime. Then it's only getting rattle canned. The paint that we're doing is a budget job. It has to be. We got no choice. Doesn't cover inside the shuts, just a all panels closed paint job. It will be good. We're working within a budget. And paint is expensive these days. This is ermine white paint. We are doing the best we can. I've put some money to one side to try and do this job. We'll raise that hopefully later on. Somehow we'll find a way. We can't do a crowdfunder for this because Ash is going to find out what we're up to. This is all top secret. He doesn't know what we're doing, when we're doing it. We're just trying. I mean, it involves some white lies. I'm sorry about those. I really am. We have to maintain the surprise. He thinks he's just getting it back with that valance on. Little does he know, Richard, Andy, me, and of course Chris, we've been busy, real busy. As you can see through this video, what's it going to be like when we take it back? Will we be able to do this all in one film, or is it going to be a split film? Either way, the car will be driven back. Oh yes, driven back. Some holes to weld up here. Look, this is where the alarm was drilled into the slam panel. We don't want that. And also up here, some kind of bonnet light switch. We don't want that. We're going to fit the original bonnet light with its Mercury tilt switch, or its ball bearing tilt switch, depending what model it was. But we need to get paint on here. We need to get this welded up. A little bit of square metal under the bottom, just plugged in. Sorry, just tacked in. Then we'll use dolphin glaze over the top. There's no need to go flush on this. So square plate cut with the aviation shears, tacked on there, and then skimmed over with dolphin glaze. Dolphin glaze is a very thin, liquidy type filler, which is good for self-leveling. So on here it should work quite well. We'll have to still sand it back, of course. Pete's not a body shop guy. I'm just trying to keep the bill down. Welder out, welder's ready. We thought we'd seen the last of the welding when we did the A-panel repair. The Gravitex goes on and sets quite nicely under there for the, I don't know if you can see it, but under there, we did it before, didn't we? It's a jacking point, that's good. And the Gravitex all underneath here. It's the best that we can do. Okay, let's recenter that camera. Come on camera, hold on a sec folks, let's just get this. 1, 2, recentering. There we go, that's better. That's better. Yeah, most of the paint off there. This should come up quite good. I'll be doing the paint on the slam panel, not the body shop. They'll be doing that lower valance, but not the top. Bonnet will be down, all panels down. All change, all change. Ash's car, all change Vivian, all change. It's called Vivian, by the way. That's the name of the car because the reg is VEV. This is Vivian. Vivian is coming back to life, everybody at Cortina City. We thank you for your support throughout the film. A little bit of a thumbs up to you guys, live chatters. We had 300 on last time. Hello all the live chatters. Just quaff away, type away. Ashu's watching, that's also he's watching. And the team, Andy, Chris, Richard, me. And the Patreons, without that, probably be nothing at all. Patrons are the bedrock, the foundation, the building blocks of the whole thing. And I couldn't post this on Patreon, I'm really sorry, because Ash is on Patreon, he would have seen what we're up to. Okay, he's got my wheels at the moment, we're taking Ash's wheels away for refurb. Pete C's Bramble wheels are on, they've already been refurbed, they were for Bramble. That'll help us get through the MOT because Ash needs new tyres as well. His tyre walls have all gone and perished. They will not pass the MOT, and we're going to take this in for the MOT. We're going to go through it. We've got pre-MOT inspection day today, Monday. Richard comes in with our list of MOT points. Things like brakes, brake pressure, brake balance, electrics, indicators, headlamp alignment, washers, washer jets, wiper arm action, emissions, perhaps, no, not on emissions, it's okay on these cars, exhaust mounts, exhaust condition, those kind of things, corrosion of course, we're going to be good for that, and whatever else goes through the MOT check, there's all sorts, wiper washers I think I mentioned, all the usual stuff. Let me get the welder out. It's a little bit of a mini ramble there. We'll be right back with the welder. I'll put you on the tripod. Lovely stuff. I think Richard's fixed me welder. I think Richard Valentino's fixed me welder. It's never welded so good. I reckon I never had it set up right on the first attempt today on this car. Crackles. Crackles nice. I've got one more to do. That's over this side. Oh, you just grab the screwdriver. Hold on. Flip you around. Oh, away you go, upside down. Wow, that's better. Right, there we go. They are in. We've got this one to do now. Cut a little bit of that for that. They can be skimmed in. So obviously we've got to grind those welds down. It actually rusted a little bit where the switch was too. Must have spread. But we shall now do the same again that side. Hold on. Whoa. Okay, I've ground those back. I would have preferred my crocky sander, but it's dead. I've got a new one on order, Makita croc sander. Ground those back. The plates just under there, I haven't completely filled that with weld. It doesn't really matter, and that's not a hole, that's the plate underneath. It's actually dented down, the actual metal here, where that switch was. The bonnet's closed with something on it and sort of bent that bit, so this wall wants levelling. It won't be too hard with the Dolphin. This one's pretty flush. The two screw holes are gone and a little bit. See, normally for that I'd go once, grind back, then go one more time and then finish. That's what I've done in the past. But here's the Dolphin glaze I was telling you about. This is a liquid filler now, so we're going to mix that. You mix it with just the normal stuff you use for normal body filler, 2 parts, and then we'll just go
different grades of sandpaper to bring it down, and that'll lose them. Then we can get this treated and etch primed, and that's our quick rapid fix slam panel repair. Just tidy up with the slam panel. So bulk of the work was done with the wire wheel. Use a decent one. Don't be tempted to buy Chinatowns. Try and find branded items for stuff like this. There are companies, I think the German ones are good. There are companies that make these. Spend extra. If not, it's worth spending twice the price on a proper wire wheel. I know that I just had that injury off it there, but the cheaper ones come off even more. They're all over the place. This is a steel one, not the brass. Okay, must have an eye protection for this. It's so important. And ear protection, both. I keep telling you this. Don't try and be a hero here. It's just not worth it. You're not a man by not wearing these. It doesn't make you any macho man. I know some people like to just wear the basic protection, but I think ear protection as well is good. To just save you that. I'll give you an example of ear protection. It's not to do with cars, but a lot of Fred Dibner fans. So am I, big Fred Dibner fan. Watch his early ones with he's using the jackhammer to knock out the coarser bricks when he's doing the chimney felling. Then obviously uses the props, pit props. But that jackhammer did his ears in, because later on when he gets his MBE, I think it was, you can see him cupping his ears because he can't hear what the Queen is saying. And in a lot of his later films, he's partially deaf, or at least he's struggling. And that's because, most likely anyway, all the time we're using the high decibel environment with the jackhammers. And if you're constantly using angle grinders and bashing and hammering, you're going to knack your ears. Okay, that's just going to happen. I just don't like the idea of people out there damaging themselves in the name of this. Rant over. Let's get a mix on. Let's get a dolphin mix on. Folks, we are hazed and glazed. For this side I did the full square because it was dented in. As I said, there was a pull switch here and someone's closed the bonnet on that, causing that to compress down and dent that bit, so brought it back to level. This side a bit more straightforward, not dented, so skim over, and then the dolphin sort of settles quite level. Quite an easy surface there to flat off. What I've done, where it just crept over the edges here, which would be harder to sand, I've just got my finger in there and pulled that out before it's set. Just makes sanding easier later. Don't make life hard for yourself, okay? So we are just going to block sand those back. I'll start with a 60 or an 80, no, start with an 80 or 100, 120 and go up to 1,000. We should be good. Block sanding next, a bit I don't really enjoy. At least it's a flat surface and just you're straight in. Then that concludes the paint, the prep for this. I need to just push this little clip off here. This is one of the cable clips for the bonnet release. We don't want to paint that. We want to clip that on after. Or you could argue when you clip it back on, you actually scratch the paint. There is an argument to paint that in. When I pop these off, then you paint it and you put it on, it just digs in and can make a rust. But depends how OCD you are, you see. We may end up just painting that on. I don't know. Oh God, no, I'd screw it, push it off and then just try and put some grease on it and push it back. Oh no! Oh, OCD. It's not OCD, it's quality. We ain't concours in it, but we may as well set off on the path as though we were. We only got limited time and budget, folks. I'm going to go and have a coffee while that's cures, dries, sets, whatever you want to call it. Activates, reactivates, catalytically activates. Who knows what the body filler does. Cure, I would think, is the right word. Set, I would say not. It's a catalytic reaction. You know, the hardener is the catalyst, I think. I don't think it's actually a two-part as such, because the ratio of mixed in body filler is such low ratio, or high ratio, that it must be catalyst. What are you talking about? Have me coffee. See you in a sec. Red Bull time soon. No, Red Bull too many calories, Richard. Oh, Red Bull, Red Bull. Okay, we're sanded back. There we go. We can now
prep this up and get some primer on there. Off we go for that. I'll just mask behind when I'm applying the primers, just with this cardboard, stop it getting inside. As I said, it's a quick job. I should do a good job with this. Here we go. Okay, it's high build primer time with the etch primer on. I'm now just a little bit of cardboard behind, stop over spray. This stuff's just a little build up layer. It's quite a thick coat. It basically fills in the tiny scratches. Of course, it's only the slam panel, but we may as well do it. We're trying to just do as good a job as we can. Paint's not my expertise, but I do okay sometimes. So build that up with high build. Then we can get the ermine white. This paint is ermine white, so I'll go and get a rattle can of ermine white and a gloss, a lacquer to go over the top of it. And that's the slam panel and the inner wings done. We've also gone along the top of that edge there, because that was all flaky. Bare metal that, and I really did bare metal it. That was like polished metal by the time I'd finished up there. Combination of some sandpaper, the wire wheel, heat gun as well got me in. That's a little trick you can use. The heat gun and then a wire brush can get you out of trouble as well. Heat gun there on the paint and then wire brush, and it tends to just fall off if you're in these tight corners. Over here I got the heat gun in and brought all the old paint out that way because the wire wheel wouldn't fit. Remember, I'm working to a time scale on this one as opposed to taking me time on a concourse, but just trying to do basically no bodges. We're not doing any bodges, we're just doing good but rapid work. Okay, hope that makes sense, to get this turned around as a nice surprise for the customer. Okay, Ash's speaker grills. We've got to use at least some form of speaker grills because there's holes cut out in the door cards. I have got him some new speakers, but those come with sort of modern looking grills. These are the original old school ones, look a bit more period, but the paint's knackered on them, so we're going to heat gun it off. Quicker way of doing it, gets into everywhere. Burn the paint off. They won't distort. You need a welding glove to hold this, but it will work. Basically the paint just won't be able to withstand that heat, so a welding glove to support it. And I've got limited hand space. I'm trying to show you this, but it will just flake off. Can't be done. Hold on, let me do this. I'll be right back. I'm just going to rub it off like that. It should be enough. See how easy it comes off. It just saves you a lot of messing. There you go. Just breaks the paint down. So we may as well refurb these old school grills. Boom. And we can put some etch primer on those. Then some black satin, and you're good to go. Pull up to the bumper, baby. Okay, speaker grills, etch primed and ready for the satin black finish, and that is that. So I just hook them up like this, look, lay them down, a little hook through. That little hook there just helps me keep them off from the door. Except don't let one land on the other and scratch your lovely job that you just done. Right, that's etch prime. I've slightly heated it with a gun to just accelerate the drying time. I can now place the satin black on these, and we've even saved the decals. There they are over here, stuck to that polythene bag is the little speaker icon decals. We'll reapply those. And you got yourself the original little grills. The high build is on, so that fills in any little scratches. And we've got a pretty good finish for PC, because he's not very good with paint. But I'm learning. I'm getting better with paint, better with welding, better with paint, better with car restorations. You never know, might be able to build a good Cortina one day. Welcome to another bit of the film. Well, our friend Richard Valentino is back for another evening session on Ash's car. Ash, what have you done to us? Please let us go. We don't want it no more. Open up the floor, find another hole. Yep, both sides. Another whacking great big. Your passport to the parallel dimension is just. Oh, hello, Richard. Oh, hello. It's sort of air conditioning, yeah. We'll put some new felt on. I've got some new tar pads going on. Richard has cleaned the area up. This requires a shaped plate as well. Not as big as the other side, which is now done. I'll take you across to that. So the other side gets the red oxide. This is ship building grade red oxide. It's strong mix of red oxide. That's gone in with our plate. So our plate for this is just this side now. New inner sill piece. It's a pattern inner sill, but it's pretty close. Just use the end section of the inner sill. I think we covered this earlier in the film. That gets some seam sealer down the corner between the floor pan and the wall of the sill. No need to seam seal the patch. It's a continuous seam weld, sealed from the other side, and also this side gets the tar pad. It gets it passed through an MOT, and it'll last a long time. I think before this starts to rot, other areas of the car would have started to go. But if the car is kept dry, I think nothing on this is going to accelerate now. This car is where it's at. Most of that damage is what is not covered by the Z-barting. It's the Z-barting, as we've said before, that saved the car. But they all start at that jacking point. All your Cortinas all start on the jacking point, and you can see why. The wheel flicks the stones and the mud round. In fact, I'll show you. Have we got the torch, Rich? Let's show them how. I mean, this is why I'm under all my cars with toothbrushes, air blowers, and everything because of this. Just take a look at this, Rich. If you get a pick, just pick out this and show the viewers at home what we got. Everyone that's got a Mark III, Mark IV, Mark V will experience this at some point if you're not up on your dental hygiene. Just a complete mud trap there. Just solid. It hasn't been maintained. You should always clean this area out after every trip. Otherwise it rots through the inner sill and attacks and does exactly what we've got here, and you get that hole. That's what causes it. That's the only reason why they go there, is because of that mud trap. They tend to last a lot longer higher up. Let's just get a better light on it than that. So there then, you can see that it's just a complete cluster muck, to be polite. It's a cluster muck. I'm going to vac all that out. It's the job for Henry. While Richard's working on the other side, he's going to shape some metal now to suit the profile of this hole, and we're going to stitch weld in. It is stitch weld, isn't it? Yeah. We're going to stitch weld in all the way down. And don't worry, folks, I've done a bit of welding while Richard's been away. He didn't get away with it that easily. This side's got a little bit of Gravitex to go on, and some seam sealer to be applied down here after they put the primer on. So we're going to put the primer on like we did the other side, this seam here. Okay, so that goes down that. You can see that flange where the new lower valance joins the original inner lower valance piece. That gets some seam seal on. We wire brush it up first, get it clean. Apply the rust proofing primer to it, then seam seal it once that's dry, and that gets that repair nice and sealed. Should last a long time. You've got your Technigrip paint here as well, protecting it too. Luckily the inner structure and the inner aprons and the wings are okay on this, and the chassis legs are good because they're absolutely full of Z-bar, so it's not as bad as most Cortinas, or say most Cortinas, as a lot of repairs that people are doing out there in YouTube land. I'm sure you know all this rust is all too familiar. Jacking point this side just about saved. Giving it a few more years of dampness with that mud collected there, and we'd have lost the jacking point on this side as well. As it stands, this plate should give the car a new lease of life. Again, you've seen some of my restos that I've done where I've dipped the shell and just gone through absolutely everything. That's not possible with this restoration, and it's not possible for a lot of people. You have to go with a rolling resto, build as you go. I understand that, and that's what happens with this. So some cleaning up in the bay as well. It's getting cleaner by the minute. I've touched in this slam panel now, so that's nice. We'll just put the decals back on it, and the slam panel's matched in with the ermine white rattle cam. It's got a gloss built into the paint. I'll see if I can show you the tin. Yes, I can. Here it is. So Macrofan MS Fast Top Coat, ermine white. Okay, that went on to the slam panel. A nice tough finish. It's not the best. I'm not a painter, but it's better than it was. So that's good for that. Cleaned up some of the engine bay. We had a leak on the top hose. Put a new Jubilee clip on. Radiator cap's faulty. That is leaking water. You can see the rubber's gone on that cap, look. And you can get the telltale trace. In fact, Richard spotted it. Condensation on the escape tube, if you will, the overflow tube, showing that it's been either overheating, which it hasn't, or leaking past the rad cap, which is why it was losing water. A slight weep on the inlet manifold to water jacket gasket, but that could be in the past. I see no fresh evidence of water there at the moment, but there is a rust trace down the side of the block. Done the washer jets, new washer tubes gone on. They just need unblocking, still bringing up some debris from the remains, the remnants of the old pump. A new washer pump had to be put on. I think I've covered that. New washer pump and pipes. Left hand side's going good. The right hand side was going good. It was hitting it straight into the middle of the screen. It just needs blasting out again. I'll take it off and do it again. I cleaned up that lower scuttle edge. You can see that the bonnet scuffed it. That's not a problem. I'll retouch that back in. We took the bonnet off, and we've probably set it a little bit too far back. It's just slightly scuffing there. That's not a big deal. All the lights work, and they're pretty bright. The reflectors and the silver haven't gone, so we'll leave those. Got some new reg plates on the way, because we don't like these. They're wrong for the car. Votes out now, please, on your reg plate, black and silver. I personally don't like them. I think that it's safer to have the reflective plates if you do break down, or if you parked up. More likely if you parked up. Cortinas don't break down. You can be seen a lot further. I think it's an extra 200 yards of visibility with reflective plates. They also look more in keeping with the car. I think that black and silver plates, to me, I don't know if this is right, but some people seem to fit them just because they can, rather than what the car should have. I know they're fitted on earlier vehicles. What point was the cut off for black and white, Rich? Do you know?
70, I think.
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it, 70? We've got MP3 system stereo for Ash now running. Centre speakers are in. I did them this morning. So we've got two Kenwood 4-inch centre speakers on a marine ply template. They cut out block. It's 22 centimetres wide. No, 22 inches wide. 22 inches? No, 22 centimetres. 22 something. Anyway, buy something. I measured it all, and it slots in with the two speakers in there. So you've got stereo left and right. We've got tunes on, so you can just go through all your music off your MP3 stick and everything like that. That was Meatloaf. That was Michael Jackson. Yeah, and you can ring Richard's wife there off the button. So we can't put too much music on. Diana Ross upside down, of course. Quick, turn that off before. Shut up! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off! No copyright! Copyright! Turn it off. So that's good. That works nice. And we've got some door speakers to go in. Of course, the central locking you saw, working like a treat. Connected to the indicators. So there we go. Horn is fixed. Horn coming up, Rich. Hold on. Horn is on. That's fine. Sounds nice and period. Not too quiet, not too loud. So that on. I've got some paint going off down here. We've got a reverse park inhibitor switch fail. Someone's linked out the inhibitor of the automatic gearbox so you can start it in any gear. That's a big no-no because it's very dangerous to do that. If you're in drive and you start the car, you are lurching forward, either off your axle stands or into somebody or into another car or backwards out your garage. Do a Chris, go backwards out your garage. Very dangerous indeed. And I'll show you the naughty link now. Come under for some naughtiness. Torch on and let's go naughtiness spotting. Whoa, what's somebody done here? Yep, there it is, a link, a naughty link. Reason, the inhibitor switches on the Borg Warner 35 are a known fault. Hard to get as well, really hard to find. I struggled on Tina G, got one in the end. 60 quid, and I've still got the receipt from it from 1997 when I bought it. 60 quid then in 97, they've probably come down now. I think I got ripped off, to be fair. In fact, I must have got ripped off, but it was 60 quid for the inhibitor switch. I will one day show you that invoice. I'm going to take that out while that paint's going off. I've got some seam sealing to do. So there's about 7 jobs running at the same time. It's time to multitask. We asked Richard, can he multitask? Well, he can cook. We know he's a good cook, so he probably can. See you in a minute. The time has come to switch on your welders. This does not mean rust is imminent, but there is a chance of it. I bet no one gets that quote. The time has come to switch on your welder. This does not mean rust is imminent, but there is a chance of this. Build your inner refuge below your stairs. Oh, look at that for shape. Oh, yeah. Nice. This is what I'm telling you about. Richard is a veteran of carpet in welding, as I call carpet in welding. He just loves the carpets to be, and I think it's so he can lean on it. Yeah, that dries out. Very nicely shaped plate there, Richard. I'm dry on the fast drying, but I can't go in here because there's going to be welding flashes now, so I'm out of bounds. But that's all them repairs are in, and I like it. You could, if you go in concourse, you'd drop the plate in flush and you do what's called a butt weld, where you fill in with, you get the butt clamps in there. Sounds rude, but they're great little things. They fit between the gap of the metal and space it so that your welder can infill the gap. And you'd let the plate in so it's completely flush, and you'd shape the ribs into it and everything else like that. But we can't do that with this project. What we can do is make what we are doing neat, and it'll last a long time. Because people may say, you know, well, you're overplating there, but we're actually only by the overlap of the cut out metal, so it can trap moisture between that. We are seam sealing from both sides, but we're doing the best we can. Off goes the welder then. Plates going in. Very nicely shaped plates, curved to fit the profile, and in we go. Closing my eyes. Give me a 5-second pause, Rich, just to get the camera lined up. Okay, yeah, as long as I know where I am. Yeah, that's fine. You're well in shot there for some welding action. He's okay. Good to go.
You ready?
Yeah. while Richard carries on doing the welding, I'm just doing the final fitment of the front lower valance to wing now. I've had the wing off for repairs on that jacking point, as you saw. Now it's just a question of getting this wing to meet the profile of the lower valance. Different wings have different finishes, especially toward the end. You might have noticed that. Have a look on any early photographs of a Cortina coming out of the factory, and you may well notice that it never really meets well at the bottom here. Have a look and you'll see it's a bit of an anomaly. This one's actually not that bad. We didn't drill the tab holes for this. Okay, this comes with a locating tab, 2 sort of tech type screws, and you've got these captive, not nuts, but the sort of spire sliding on little brackets, whatever you call them. They fit on the wing, and you go in with a 10 on this side. I'll show you that. It is on all my films, this, but just in case you've not caught up with the back catalogue, we'll take you in. A little bit jerky now, just stay with us, we'll try and get you in. There you can see you've got that little tech screw and the little spire washer at the back, and the idea is not to drill these tabs here when you get your panel from Express, but do a trial fit with some locking pliers, then mark it through later, because you might find the holes in the wrong place. We do them 10mm so that there's room to manoeuvre the panel, so you don't do it an exact hole size for this, you do it 10, and that way you can move this to get it right, because it can be a bit of a pain. I've got masking tape on it now because it's finished with, it's got paint between, so it's well sealed between it, but now all we do, just run this down like this, look, straight down. Okay, I'm doing it one-handed, it's slightly thicker at the bottom, we've got it there. And I just run my finger down there now, push that into the gap. We might have to do 2 runs, we'll probably go again. Let's just deposit the surplus. We're going to go again, folks. Pull back for you, a bit easier. A little bit up at the top, down we go. Keep triggering as you pull, down, and then you can go from the top, or you can go push it in. And this way, when they paint it, because they're going to be painting the car, you get a nice bead finish there, and it's flexible too. Now I can pull the tape off and wipe down with thinners any excess, although I want to be careful with the thinners because I'll take off my primer that I've got on. So there you go, that's how it works. We'll do the other side now. Approaching the paint shop now, an exciting day for Cortina City, but more exciting for Ash, as his paint is gonna go on. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get this car looking a little bit straighter than when it came into the city, folks. Turn the MP3 radio down, giving us entertainment on the way there. Looking good so far. A couple of people in the road, their door open into the street, but we approach the place we need to go. Masters, they'll do the job for us. In we go then. They're waiting to take the car, we drive straight in. No problem. In we go.
Where'd you want this up, Jeff? In here. Right. Reversing.
Hopefully not.
No, that's a good project. Yeah. We are in the paint shop. We are in strictly no photographs of customers coming into this car. You mustn't know it's in here. Strictly off limits now. I want you to close everything down, shut them gates, shine and dine undercover, because he doesn't know it's getting painted, the guy. So it's strictly radio silence, everybody, at Full radio silence. Right, we're going to leave this in the capable hands of Spraybox 1 and Spraybox 2, of that man and that man over there. Hasta la vista, baby. Oh, just get me jacket and then I am done. That's it. We're leaving Vivian for paint. Give us 10 days and we'll be right back. 10 days time. We'll see you back here. We've been working on a few cars this week. The white, Ermine White GT. No, Ermine White GXL GT. Ermine White GXL from Bradford. Just roll that out because Tina Jean needs a gearbox mount that went on the way up actually on that road trip from the other week. We're bringing you road trips or footage most weeks. So we ordered for Tina G a new gearbox mount, and here it is. Up on the jacks, up on the axle stands. Never go without axle stands. Whatever you do, just don't be tempted. Because, you know, for obvious reasons, if it goes, you're under the car. Anyway, it's a 2-bolt situation here, although we may have to take 4 bolts off to get the actual cross member itself. I don't think we can do this with just these 2 left and right mounting bolts you can see there, because I think they're a bit tricky to get to. It's easier to drop the little gearbox cross member. I'll slide under the car, drop that cross member, then we'll bring it out to the front of the car here and I'll show you what failed on it. This was 24 quid off eBay, by the way, brand new. Under the cargo, 13mm on the socket. Plenty of room to get under there. We may have to take the jack with us. We're on axle stands, as I said. And take the jack with us just to support the gearbox. It's going to try and drop down completely. At the moment it's resting on the cross member without the insulation bush, but is supported roughly. So when the cross member's removed, we're definitely going to be floating, so it's best to jack up. Now I'm going to go across the pan with a block of wood there because I can't get to the tail shaft. So just as you can see, we get that cross member, sorry, that block of wood on the jack, so we can get the cross member out, support the gearbox, then it should come out pretty easy. I shall let you know. Join me underneath the box. Last 13 to go. 4 of those. And a 19 centre cup bolt that holds in this cup here. That's the sort of centre mount. So we've just got one more to go under here. Whoa! As the socket hits the camera. It'll actually fall onto the floor now because I'm doing it one-handed. Sorry about this. It'll just suddenly drop out of the floor. Sorry. But I can't no film and undo it at the same time, Captain. Let's take this and have a little look. Oh! Right, out we go. People think I'm crazy for my laughs. I'm not for everybody. And everybody is not for everybody. Pete C's channel is not for everyone. There's people out there who think I'm an idiot. They call me a lot worse names than that on YouTube. But there's people out there who like what I do and want me to be crazy. And so, for those people, I will carry on. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. We're gone. Look. Whoa! That's English for stop a horse. It just punched straight through. As Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, dominated. It's the end. 2 more 13s here. We'll have to get a spanner to lock on that side. That's why I couldn't really do it in the car, see? And then we'll degrease this. It's in good order, that, isn't it? Look at that completely rust-free cross member. Wow, so we can fix that. We'll degrease. I'll show you the Nerta degreaser. But let's go and have a look under the car and just see the general condition. It's a while since I've been under here snooping about. And we can see on Tina G, nice solid chassis legs here. All the way down. Little patch repair on the fork at the back I did in the 90s. It's held out.
Absolutely jam-packed full of Dinatrol and wax oil, this is. So, you know, it isn't rotten. You got yourself a nice solid shell. There's little bits on Tina who just wants, she wants a little bit of TLC. But on the whole, it's a good solid base to be working with, and I'm proud to have worked with this car since my early 20s. And I've enjoyed every mile in this car. I put 60,000 miles on it personally, approximately that. It's gone round the clock. Yeah, I put about 60,000, 55 to 60,000 miles from Cortina City has put on the car over his lifetime. It's been a great journey too. So solid under there, everything looking good. We'll check everything, but it always gets checked. It's been in storage a long time, of course, been using Swampy and the other cars. How we're faring out under here, I wonder. Let's have a look at those jacking points. We're there, we're okay. Can you see? Can you see that? And in there, those mud traps, I'll show you how I try and keep them clean. Always nice and solid down there, no rust coming through. It's amazing how that's held out. It really is. I did do a lower repair. In the old days, you could buy the A panels at decent prices, and I absolutely gunked it. I probably put more on here than I would have done now when I was in my 20s. I just gunked the hell out of this, but that's what's stopped it from rotting, because it is laid on big time. Okay, I think there was a patch here, if I recall. That's got a patch on it. Funnily enough, that's the same kind of patch I've just done on Ash's car, almost identical. That's brazed in by me. If we dipped this shell, all my past would come back, not to haunt me, but to remind me of what I did in those days. And of course, I replaced the lower valance, and I even sealed that in, wow, in the 90s. It's not even tried to rust back. You can see one of my repairs here, a bit dodgy, those lower nose cone repairs, but never rotted back, just a bit ugly, I suppose. Let's get you back and get a sense of perspective. That's done by Pete C in 94 there. But not tried to come back. Just a bit blobby. Mr. Blobby on there, and a little repair on the side. It's held it at bay. If we were going to concourse it up, we could always dip this whole shell, but it seemed a shame to do it, and put proper metal in, let it in level, fill it in flat and level, I suppose. But they're things to think about for another day. Let's get on and get this degreased, and then the new mount on. Pretty straightforward job. I don't think we're going to struggle at all with that. We'll see you in a sec. Let's get the bush fitted to this, the gearbox mount fitted to this. 2 13s then, and a locking spanner. Bit of degreaser. I haven't got a degreasing tank or degreasing machine, so I put the Nerta degreaser. Here it is. This is good stuff if you can get it. Nerta Super Degreaser. This shifts a multitude of sins. It'll break this down, no problem. So just a stiff brush. I'm using what they call a seam sealing brush. That's just a stiff bristled nylon brush, and then let the degreaser go to town, go to work. Just makes reassembly cleaner. Just good practice, just to keep everything that you're doing clean. Of course, you don't want to wash off anything that's protecting it. In this case, it's not. It's just gunked on over the years. That's all I'm gonna do. It's just let that break that down. Then I'll wipe this with one of the disposable cloths. Although if I had I'll tell you what, if I had an old knackered washing machine, I'd rig it up somewhere and put all my oiled toweling cloths through it and give them a second run, because I hate throwing stuff away. But if you put them in your domestic washing machine, the problem with that is it stinks the washing machine out. I've tried it. Been there and tried that. The idea was good, trying to create less waste. So you'd have to look at the ratio between the energy consumed
and the minimal impact of the water usage versus the cost of replacing the cloths. So I would say that the washing machine would win. In that case, the energy spent cleaning the cloths is more economical than buying new cloths and then having to dispose of the old ones. A crazy way of looking at things, perhaps. It's just the way my mind works. I'm sure a lot of you think along the same lines too. Regards to wastage, there is a relationship between a cost benefit ratio between waste. Always there is. In other words, it can apply to recycling as well. How much to reuse plastic, or how much to just throw it away. Of course, you know that I'm an advocate of not chucking out plastic, not really using it in the first place. I say we go back to some kind of way of getting your shopping without plastic, and a way of bottling up beverages without plastic. But that's a completely different topic. What I'm saying in this case is, in a minute I'm wiping this down and I'm going to use some toweling, and that toweling eventually gets soiled. Is it economical to wash that toweling or to throw it away and buy new toweling? I think we're all going to agree that it's probably better to wash it. What's that got to do with a Cortina? Not a lot. Nearly done. I'm going to wipe this down now, speaking of that. Okay, here's the toweling I refer to. Still got a bit of life left in these two sheets. The mount on top of that, flipping it round. It's in blooming good order. This, not a bit of rust on this. It is original as well. In fact, I don't think it's ever been off the car. Could have been when we had the gearbox overhauled, actually. That was a long time ago as well. So now I can continue and get these two 13 head bolts off. Do that now, get the locking spanner. Okay, I'm ready to refit. Bolted back on, cleaned up, and you can see the condition of this. It's weathered really well. Often see them all rusty. That's just because of the way the car's been stored and looked after. The rust has never managed to get hold of this car. It's managed to just survive and survive. So we're off with that and going to fit it. Should drive a bit better because it wasn't half rumbling. It will do, because what happens when that drops down, it's virtually gearbox to floor touching, and then you also lose your prop shaft alignment. If you lose your prop shaft alignment by just a few degrees, you get prop shaft vibrations because the UJs aren't aligned properly as well. So all sorts of rumblings were going on, as you saw on the Bradford road trip video in which Tina G took part. This failed on that point. It failed going up a hill with a laden car, so it probably stressed this and finished it off. We had 4 in the car uphill. It seemed to go at that point. It was in the sort of the last breaking point for it. Okay, I'm going under the car and we're done. Masters. Yes, someone's punched a hole through the side window, but it's all looking good. Shine and dine, shine and dine. Someone's broke through. Smash and grab. Oh yeah, I think they've done a great job there on that prep. Look at that. Isn't that a honey? Ain't that a honey? Ain't that a honey? No honey. Yeah. 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 We leave Vivian now in capable hands, all looking good. Just had a look round and everything's very nice indeed. So, a few more days in here. They need to get it into the paint booth. Some ermine white. I think he's done more than he's gone above and beyond actually for that job. For the price, he's gone above and beyond. To be fair, I told him
There's only so much you can do, but he's done a little bit more, as always. And the wheels are ready. News just in. Wheels are ready. Vivian's wheels, the Mexico rims, are painted and ready with new tyres on as well. What a treat the car's getting. New tyres and everything. We're going to do a 3-point turn in here now. We'll catch you on the road. So that was a little stop off there. Folks, the wheels have arrived. Richard's going to unload them. So we dropped off Ash's wheels at Rhino. Take them away. Get them out of the boot. These look nice. Mexico rims. New tyres. Hey, oh, we're wedged in. Hey. Whoa. Just watch that tang there, that's it. They got wedged in there. Great. Look at these. These look nice. Wow. Brand new tyres. I've gone 175 just so his steering's a bit easier. There's a big difference between 8.5 and 7.5 when you turn the wheel. I noticed that on Swampy. Swampy's got 7.5s non-power steering. And Tina G's got 8.5s, so there's a hell of a lot of difference. Let's get these to the workshop. We've got some centre caps for them. No stainless steel trim rings. We'll let Ash decide if he wants them. Okay, nice. Thanks to Rhino Alloys in Tarleton for these. Lovely stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Bramble as we go now to pick the car up. We're going to go and pick Vivian up. You just saw me going and inspecting the primer. 5 days later, Vivian is painted and ready to go. We are on board and we're going to pick up. We're going to drop off Bramble because I got a little bit of paint damage, so that's going to get fixed. So we kind of like swap cars, bring Ashes back now. PC Cortina City, and we're gonna get Andy the Lens, we're gonna get Crazy Chris, we're gonna get Richard Valentino Couture to help us put the car back together. Now for the exciting part, bolting on all the shiny bits. We've done those, welded those plates, we welded that valance, we've done the central lock-in, we've done the electrics, we cleaned the engine bay up. So that's good. And a bonus, the paint shop, we weren't going to paint the underbonnet for budget constraints, but the paint shop just said we'll just blow it over, so it wasn't mega prepped. It could always be redone, but the main bits on the outside of the car are done, the bit where the budget would allow. So there's a little bit of bonus paint went on. It's not prepped as good as it could be, but it's not rusty or anything. It's just we could always be wire wheel back, but it's a little bonus, just tidies it up a bit. So any second now we're going to roll in, have a look at this ermine white paint then on this restoration video. I'll overlap a few of the clips from the previous episode just so you get a bit of narrative here. Let's get downtown and check it out. Paint job coming up, ermine white on a 4-door GXL, the Bradford GXL. Okay, we don't get a low loader to bring it back, we drive it back. You are on board with Vivian driving. That's right folks, the car is alive and driving. Take a look. Hell yeah. Got a lot of pickup. Kick down, just nicely adjusted there, that's perfect. I can live with that. Yeah, this is nice. Great little drive. Just as I say, just a little tweak
on that tick over, and it could be the carburetor. Richard's got a rebuild kit for the carb, so we'll get that rebuild kit on. New jets, seals, and the accelerator pump diaphragm has got a slight leak on it, so that won't help. We'll get that carburetor rebuilt into a 50 zone now, putting a bit more pressure down. Tracking feeling good, steering position good. Look at that, look at that. We're good there. No bent steering. Very nice. What do you reckon, folks? We're in ermine white, freshly painted. Just a case of little tweaky jobs, putting on the trim. As I say, rebuild the carb. There's a bit of engine detailing we're going to do. Only going so far, as you know, but this is a nice 50 drive here. Second choke opening. Whoa, did you hear that one? Cheeky little kick down then. Wow, should we do that again? Should we try it? Okie dokie. Whoa! Now wrong with that power, loads of power. Fire that again, cheeky little kick down. What else when the weather's nice too? Whoa! I hope Ash doesn't mind, Pete. See, I'm just blowing out the cobwebs, Ash. Don't you worry about that. We are back. Some 80s tunes on the way on the retro radio there. We are done. Let's get it put together now. Let's get Richard down and get right onto this. Chris is coming as well. Well, I'm going to waste no time and get straight into the rebuild. Just rolled in. Little trip out there on the way back from paint shop. There is your ermine white. We'll put some lights on the white. I'm starting by putting the trim back on it. So boot plinth trim going on. Hold on for the radio. Copyright. Whoa. So we just start putting on all the goodies and more besides. What do you think of ermine white? Lights on the white. And there it is, a creamy white, which I quite like. Yeah. Waiting for Richard. I might be a little bit subdued because I've just gone through hell, or going through hell. That's a personal thing, so that's why I probably sound a little bit down. But hobbies. Let's keep going. This is Cortina City. We've got to keep going. The show must go on.